Welcome all star signs to your creative forecast for the month of September 2021. Yes, I know this video is late, really late. Life got away with me, I'm really sorry. And it's an audio, not a video. Again, I'm having real trouble finding a place where I can record with good lighting. So please forgive me. So welcome all star signs to your creative forecast for the month of September 2021. I'm Jane Holland, I'm a fiction author and an astrologer, and this is my creative horoscope for the month ahead. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and please leave comments below. And by the way, if you'd like to read the transcript for this and all my other videos, you can find them on my Patreon page, link below this video. So this month's video is a little later getting posted, as I've said. For a variety of reasons, I'm also not able to do my usual detailed 12 star sign horoscope readings this summer. So instead I'm gifting you this general astrology reading for September. But never fear, this horoscope reading should give you a pretty good idea of how September is likely to pan out, regardless of your star sign. I'll be looking in detail at the new moon coming up and the full moon nearer the end of the month. In fact, that new moon is almost upon us. And also discussing what's in the air for later this year, astrologically speaking, so keep listening. Now, after a potentially difficult start to the month, given Mars furiously opposing Neptune in the first few days of September, which could have brought you some confused messages so far and some serious uncertainties, even illness for some, and certainly rainstorms and flooding for others. Neptune being rain, Mars being strength, so strong rain, but also a creative or spiritual fervour, and of course creative vision in abundance, because Neptune is the planet of dreamy, visionary creativity, and Mars, of course, is all about getting things done. So September 5th is going to bring a welcome change of mood. So September 5th is when Venus at 24 degrees of Libra makes a harmonious trine, that's what we call a 120-degree aspect, to generous Jupiter in Aquarius. Libra and Aquarius are both air signs because a trine aspect is about linking the same elements. After the violent drenching and psychic drubbing of Mars versus Neptune, this feels much more cerebral and airy, much lighter. You'll be able to breathe, and while Jupiter increases whatever it touches, and this could bring some mighty strong winds, even hurricanes or tornadoes, depending on where you are in the world, this could be internal weather, not simply what's happening in the skies. So maybe you'll be feeling more blessed at this time. Jupiter is big, generous, positivity, and Venus is money and art and creativity, as well as representing the feminine. Jupiter, Venus could be big women, or a big time for women, a time when their feelings and rights and social status are at the forefront of political debate. All in all, this is a much more agreeable few days after the difficult start to this month, and you may find money or financial deals are being negotiated, especially for creative or artistic work. And even though money may well have been quite tight recently, this is a moment when you could push for more money if necessary, and probably get it. Jupiter loves to grant wishes. And Venus, being in Libra, sign of the scales of justice, this does suggest legal issues may be highlighted for some of you, and justice should prevail with Jupiter in fair-minded Aquarius. This is about social conscience and a fair deal for everyone, and it could actually be fantastic for individual love relationships too, especially if you're an air sign yourself. That's Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, or if those signs are strongly highlighted in your chart, such as in a rising sign or a moon. Now you can easily download your birth chart for free at many websites and find out where those things are in your chart. So why not book a romantic dinner for two around the 5th, 6th or 7th of September and expect some good times with a loved one. Now around this time, the new moon falls in order-loving, perfectionist, detail-obsessed Virgo, and this is going to happen on the evening of 6th September in the US and the early hours of September 7th here in the UK. You all know by now, I'm sure, that the new moon is a fabulous time for creative people to sow a new seed for the months and years ahead. It's a time of fresh beginnings. In Virgo, this is a very practical time, though. It's not all up in your imagination. It's about organising things and tidying up after last month's efforts. But don't be fooled into thinking this means it's a dull time or a slow time with not much happening. Virgo is the maiden at harvest time, so this new moon is about fecundity too, about creative power and potent fertility. It's a time when you can reap what you sowed earlier, and with eccentric Uranus, planet of unexpected shocks and changes, making a harmonious trine aspect to this Sun-Moon conjunction at the new moon, you should definitely expect the unexpected, but don't fear it, because this could bring sudden news or abrupt change into your life, even revolutionary impulses for some, especially in creative or practical work terms. But the harmonious energy of these changes should help you move forward as an artist. It could bring you new ideas, for instance, or new working methods, and also help you see your future path more clearly, because Uranus is all about what's going to happen rather than, what has already happened. It's about new things. It's about the future. Now, on the 13th of September, the Sun is going to oppose Neptune, and this could bring an echo of whatever happened in the first few days of the month, because back then it was Mars opposing Neptune right in the first few days, and both the Sun and Mars have this very similar element of masculine energy about them. The Sun, though, is more about your intrinsic essence, and it can be, quite egotistical in the way it expresses itself if enacted too purely without thinking about others or about social context. So here you can get people who love to big themselves up, to elaborate their backstories and make themselves seem more important or creative than others, or in some way larger than life. Neptune too brings cloudy confusion, so watch out for people who may be trying to deceive you, especially male figures who seem to represent something bigger than themselves and you don't quite believe them. You might be deceived by some fantastical figure, especially a man trying to be something he isn't. Always seek to establish basic, hard truth during Sun-Neptune, because truth may be what is lacking. Your takeaway? Well, if it looks too good to be true during this aspect, it probably is. On the plus side, Sun-Neptune can be a marvellously creative time for artistic people. The Sun is who you are, deep down inside. It's who you identify with. It's a ball of pure energy and heat and life-giving force. And Neptune is dreamy creativity and visions. It's almost an opposite, really, of that pure energy of the Sun. Neptune is diffuse. So take a note of any amazing, diffuse ideas that come to you through dreams at the moment. They may be a message from your subconscious or even from the universe suggesting again your future path. Or you may encounter an incredible artist around this time, a figurehead who inspires you with his, because it's likely to be a male figure with the sun involved, but not always, his creative powers or vision for the future. Just don't let yourself get swept away by Neptunian charm or illusion. Be sure to check those pesky facts before following the Pied Piper too far down the road. But it's a bit later in the month that some major aspects start to make their presence felt in our lives. Now, the full moon in Pisces falls on September 20th. The full moon is traditionally a time when we bring things to a close, when we finish up a big project that's been absorbing us, maybe for many months actually, and wrap it all up and also send it out to the world if that is a necessary step on your creative journey. September 22nd sees busy communicator Mercury squaring the planet of deep change and hidden things, which is Pluto. Mercury, of course, is the messenger of the gods. Mercury rules news, messages, language, anything like that. So it could be that something hidden is being revealed by the light of this very bright full moon, something that could change your life at a profound level. Now, despite the light of the moon, it could actually be quite a dark time for some of you, perhaps even brutal. Pluto, you see, can be a bit of a bruiser sometimes, a bit of a bully, even a depressive influence. So you could find it hard to deal with whatever kind of crawls out of the woodwork and is highlighted around this full moon. And of course, Neptune, which rules the full moon because it's in Pisces, Neptune is all about things that we can sense rather than see, things that are deep in our psyches. And so in a way, what is being revealed may be coming out of us, may be coming out of our own deep selves. It's not necessarily something being inflicted from outside. Because it's our own truths being revealed, others may be able to see what's going on from the outside. So you can't even hope to keep things quiet and avoid public disclosure in the light of this moon. But on the plus side, Pluto is also about courage under fire. So try to avoid scuttling off to hide, however tempting that may feel. Stick your chin in the air and deal with whatever comes along as calmly and courageously as you can, and rely on Pluto's strength to help you come through it. Pluto loves to give us lessons, so you may learn something very important about yourself, about your own inner strength at this time. Now, as an artistic person, you may come at this a different way. Maybe your new creative work is dealing with Plutonian themes, such as death, darkness, rebirth, suffering, the underworld. Perhaps you'll be choosing to rejuvenate old projects rather than starting off down a new path. And rejuvenation, rebirth is very much a Plutonian theme. Jupiter is also connecting with this Mercury-Pluto aspect. So this can indicate a financial windfall, a lucky opportunity, a publishing break, legal matters coming to a head, especially given that Mercury is in balanced Libra here, or just some generous help from a friend or sponsor that will help you break out of jail at this awkward time. Meanwhile, On the very next day after this time of dark and brutal revelations, September 23rd, Venus in Scorpio, Pluto's own sign, is opposing eccentric and rebellious Uranus in earthy Taurus. Now this feels this feels to me like a very dramatic, even confrontational factor, especially in a close relationship. It could signal a breakup, for instance, because someone, either you or the other person, feels a need to have more space, more freedom. You're feeling claustrophobic, suffocated, whatever, or possibly because you've discovered something through that difficult revelation the day before. But it could also indicate a bold new start for some people, maybe alone or maybe in a new relationship that abruptly springs out of nowhere. It could feel like a roller coaster, very, very exciting, but be aware. New relationships that begin under a Uranian aspect tend to burn out quickly. They're not lasting changes, because Uranus is all about the new. It's all about different things, changes, revolution, rebellion. And while these things are important to have in our lives from time to time for fresh blood and to kick up the traces, they can only make a lasting impact and stay in our lives long term if we can find a way to incorporate them into our daily routines. And Uranus hates daily routines so much that it actually tries to smash and disrupt them. And of course that becomes uncomfortable after a while. Even for people who like excitement, there has to be light and shade. For creative people though, this Venus-Uranus opposition could signal an amazing new opportunity. Maybe, that relationship that I've talked about is between you and another creative person, or between you and, for instance, an agent or someone commissioning work from you. Maybe you start off a whole new project in a style, medium or form you've never even dreamt of before, something really revolutionary. You'll be pushing your comfort zone to the max at this time, with arty Venus-Uranus encouraging you to make these impulsive, bold, creative gestures or decisions which you may regret later, or which could catapult you into some new artistic reality. But be aware, if you want them to work out for you long term, you will need to sit down and look at the facts, look at the fine detail, and do all the hard slog. Anything that happens too quickly or too easily around the last week of September may turn out too good to be true. And remember, of course, that Venus also indicates financial situations. It's not just about art and creativity and love. It is about money too. So with Venus in Scorpio, ruled by this very active Pluto, there could be sudden, brutal changes to your finances, or shockingly revealed financial circumstances that you were unaware of, that were hidden from you. And these could feel uncomfortable, even dangerous, under Uranus's sort of lightning rod influence. But around this time, go-getter Mars is working harmoniously with Saturn, labour-loving Saturn, in air. And this strong, goal-focused, cerebral energy could suggest a way forward for creative people, especially those who use thought or language or ideas in their work. So you could try to channel these more problematic influences into your art, into your creative projects, and deal with them in practical terms. And this will be rather like grounding a lightning strike in the earth, so you can avert the worst of this outer planet overactivity in late September. And of course, as we move further into the autumn, pushing into the winter months, what is going to happen is that there will be this sense of energy building, of momentum building towards some kind of breakthrough right at the end of the year, right at the very end, as Jupiter, in fact, shifts back direct into Pisces and kicks off this whole wave of Neptunian and Jupiter energy, which is going to be so massive. And we're going to talk about that a lot more over the next few months. And I will do a separate video for Jupiter in Pisces because it's such a major thing in the world right at the moment. So have a wonderful and a truly creative month, my dear friends and supporters. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave comments below if you can, and thank you so much for listening.